So, welcome back to Sound Bites, the show about good people doing good things in the local food and drink business. And one of those good people is Garth Brown. Garth is multi-talented. He's an entrepreneur, he's a foodie, he's a wine educator, he's a business owner and speaker. He's also a faculty member at the Nova Scotia Community College's Acreley campus, where he teaches in the hospitality, tourism, culinary, and event management department. And since coming to Nova Scotia back in, I think it was 2016, he's become kind of an important part of the province's kind of food and drink landscape. Just a couple days ago on April 13th, NSCC hosted their Touch of Our Class event. We'll talk a bit about the name and its change. And I want to talk to Garth about what he does at NSCC and also about the importance of this event. So welcome, Garth Brown.
Hello, everyone. Right. How are we doing? Good to see you, Mark.
Thank you for being on the show. So I guess what drew you, to come to Nova Scotia in what I think it was 2016, and yeah. What about NSCC specifically too?
Well, it was interesting. So you're correct. 2016 is when I moved to Nova Scotia, sight unseen. I've never spent any time in Nova Scotia. However, I've been very, privileged to work with amazing people from Nova Scotia in the past. And I'm from out west originally and operating restaurants and cocktail bars and consulting and a lot of major events over the years. And in that time, my travels allowed me to work with some amazing people that are now here at NSCC at Acreley campus. And as the programs evolved and as the industry evolves and progresses, there was opportunity at the college to kind of take our programming to the next level, and those, I guess those out there would say that I was one of those people to help take us to the next level.
I think that's
through conversations and with colleagues that I'd worked with in the past out west, whether it's Chef Jonathan Canning, where we ran multiple restaurants together as general manager and executive chef, to Andrew Stevens, who's now the manager of all the hospitality, tourism, and programming for the School of Business here at NSCC. We had worked together as well out west in Alberta. And I guess when they were deciding to, with the next steps, they reached out to me. And it just so happened that I had a bit of a break in time and I was kind of looking for what is the next step after owning and operating and also even sort of saving restaurants as part of my consulting practice at the time. What was the next step? And I didn't think that education was an opportunity for me. And they were very much from the very beginning saying that that's exactly what I've done. My entire career was kind of education and training and developing and mentoring and all those sorts of things. That I flew out in 2016 for what was supposed to be a term. And well, now I'm here and Halifax and Dartmouth is my home and NSCC is my home as well. And it's been an incredible journey.
And I've had the pleasure of kind of walking through those corridors on a number of occasions, and NSCC really, and the apartment you're in is really quite special and quite, really a great thing for our province to have. So yeah. Is it really tell us what makes the program so special? Is it, I know obviously you're great people, but
yeah. For me, what makes it really special, I think, it's kind of two parts, Mark, and it's a great question because, I think what I love the most about NSCC and what it does is it's the practical learning aspect, and it's really hands-on learning, and it's really immersive, and our connection with industry is a real big part, and having industry as part of the programming and engaging our students with industry and doing as much industry-related type of courses hands-on, whether it's running an operation like our Fresh 21 restaurant. It's not a restaurant, but it's a classroom. However, it operates as a restaurant. And then the customers that do come in and join us in here are actually contributing to the learning process. It's live, in the moment, real, effective learning on the fly. So that's really kind of cool. It's very different than most institutions or at least educational facilities that I know of, just because of the fact that there is this practical and applied learning piece. Very much. We do a lot of customized learning, customized curriculum as well. And the province is what makes it really special as well. We have such an amazing abundance of things that make us so unique in the industry, from our wine industry and the craft brewer industry to the restaurant scene, the tourism industry, events, and all those things. It makes NSCC a real, I would say, a diamond in the rough when it comes to that sort of tourism, hospitality, and culinary programming.
Yeah, and I would say too that you speak to like industry connection. I think that probably if you went back 15, 20 years ago or a while ago, that was probably maybe the a criticism, but and really important now that we really need trained people coming out of our colleges, because the labor market is so much more competitive now, and so
it's true. And I would also say that not only is it developing those real core skills on an industry level, whether it's restaurant operations or it's in the kitchens, it's also those life skills as well. And by providing our students with live, in the moment, active learning environments such as Fresh 21 or our cafe outlet, or doing events out in industry, whether it's with industry partners, doing charitable work. All of those things give our students the opportunity to be exposed to industry, doing industry-related activities that have them, I think, a step ahead than most others. When they come out of our program, they hit the ground running. And the more that we can have industry involved in some of the things that are happening in our facility, I find that the more they know what's happening in the educational world as well. And, we want to be poised to be at the front of the pack, not only leading our students, but leading industry as well, and working in collaboration with them, so that when our students graduate, they are almost ahead of it, or they actually have the ability to adapt and pivot and transition and change if need be, based on the industry and how it's changing so rapidly, especially after COVID.
Yeah, and one of the things you talked about was doing events, and you just had an important one called Touch of Our Class. Now it used to be called Touch of Class, so why the name changed? What's new about it this year?
Yeah, it's a great question again, and Touch of Class is that there's our industry has tremendous traditions, and Touch of Class is and was a tradition that the college did previous to my coming aboard, and over the past 6 years we've started to redevelop that event itself. And the original sort of Touch of Class version was the hospitality program's version of a showcase event, and it was an opportunity for the students to showcase their learning journey through throwing a fundraising type event. And then something, kind of strayed for a while. Like I said, it's always up to about 30 years it's been happening. And then it became a real sort of college showcase and an NSCC showcase, which we love, obviously, to showcase what it is that we do here at NSCC. But what it was doing is it was actually limiting the amount of industry connection for our students to network and demonstrate their learning in front of them in a practical event, because the tickets would be eaten up so quickly by internal and by other partners of ours, that it really started to take on a different life. So when we decide to, our principal, Augie Jones, we're talking about our signature events that NSCC Acrely specifically are recognized for and known for. We had the opportunity to take it back and kind of rejig it. Times change, and it's time for the new generation of Touch of Class. And in this case, the changing of the name, we still keep TOC because Touch of Class is a great brand and it has a lot of history. But the Touch of Our Class moniker is really about celebrating this class, this particular year's class. And that's the celebration of a Touch of Our Class 2023. Next year would be the Touch of Our Class 2024, and so on. And that's really important because it's about the celebration of that graduating class from event management, baking and pastry arts, culinary management, hospitality management, tourism management. And it's all of them under one big roof, demonstrating all of their skills, food, beverage, touring, guiding, all of those things under one roof. And we create this amazing event. Yeah. And Touch of Our Class this year was the biggest numbers we've ever done. And what I really was excited about was that the proceeds of the ticket sales go back to student learning. So, it's There is a ticket price attached to it. And after the costs, whatever was left over, the legacy of the 2023 graduating class is a good amount of money in our NSCC foundation for us to create and develop really specific scholarships for those that are in need. And that's really what this is about. So passing that torch from generation to generation has really been is going to be exciting with the new Touch of Our Class piece.
Yeah, it sounds like, that what you've done this year with Touch of Our Class, it speaks really to what you guys are all about, which is kind of this mentorship, giving back and letting it go, pay it forward of sorts. So
yeah,
anyway.
It's funny you say that. Like, community is a part of our name in the NSCC or Nova Scotia Community College, and we can't do what we do in our classes, especially the Fresh 21 dining room class, restaurant operations, I guess is the course we would call it. We can't do what we do in that class without the community support. So like guests like yourselves and other industry guests can come in, and we have, we'll have wineries and we'll have craft breweries and distilleries that are here. And we're featuring beverages that our students have maybe created or collaborated on. Several years ago, we created our own gin with Compass Distillery. We're working in collaboration with Benjamin Bridge on some things. And we really can't do those things without the outside community from around us, right? We are in the middle on top of the hill here at NSCC Acrely, and the community supports us in what we do every day. And so the Touch of Class or Touch of Our Class is a way for us to showcase the organizations and the people around us in our community and showcase them as well. Spotlight what they have done to support our students and to support us as a college. And that's a real big piece, because I think as part of our learning and teachings is that the community, whether it's a hotel or a business, neighborhoods and communities are all intertwined together. And the more that we can do in the community with our students and within our programming is very important to us. And that's something that we're really proud of ourselves on.
Yeah, well, I think, I get the benefit of talking to a lot of industry folks through this kind of show. And I just want to say, NSCC has really come to the fore in the last decade or so, or, awesome. 8 years. And the collaboration's amazing. So thanks for taking the time, Garth, and congrats on the successful event.
Yeah, it was really great.